welcome once again to another 623 Sports presentation of Hockey 87. Christopher Glenn along with Carl Roseville here from Columbia Arena in Fridley, Minnesota, where the Roseville Raiders are about to take on the Highlanders in what is going to be a good conference matchup, Carl.
Yeah, right now Heights right around 500, but they are a better than 500 team.
And let's take a look at the state poll now, and of course this is something that we've been anticipating because Greenway did beat Kennedy over the Christmas season, so that means a lot.
Yeah, what happened? Greenway Coleraine beat Kennedy. Kennedy, the top team in Metro, but Greenway right now 13-0. Kennedy number 2, of course, at 10-1. From the St. Paul City Conference, Hill Murray is 3rd, and these Roseville Raiders are right now 4th with an 8-run record. Burnsville and Jefferson are tied for 5th.
And of course, 6th place is Jefferson. Now Jefferson beat this same Roseville team by a score of 6-5, but since then Jefferson has had not good fate.
Yes, Jefferson has taken 3 losses, I believe 1 to Kennedy, and I'm really not sure who the 2 other ones are from, but they are of course a Lake Red Conference team.
Then we see Minnetonka at 8-2, Stillwater at 8-1, Anoka at 8-1, and Grand Rapids at the bottom. Another North team, Greenway and Grand Rapids both in there.
Of course, Roseville has had some great teams. Hibbing has had some great teams. International Falls. The North has some good hockey schools.
Now overall in the North Suburban Conference, Roseville is on top, and they lead the conference as well in overall team scoring. There we see the graphic. Roseville on top, 54 goals for, 22 against. That's a good ratio, Carl.
That's a very good ratio, 5-2 over 9 games.
They're followed there by Anoka, 36 for, 20 against. Coon Rapids, Forest Lake, Mounds View, Elk River, Columbia Heights, Blaine, Irondale, Fridley, and Spring Lake Park. Spring Lake Park, 18-44. That's not too good of a ratio.
Well, they had a very strong team last year, but they graduated a lot of seniors. They do not have much back, and they're going to have a rebuilding year.
Of course, this game getting underway, Columbia Heights, they haven't had that good. Last week we saw the basketball team.
Well, last week they took Roseville into overtime in a real thriller. It was a very exciting game, but Roseville did come out on top.
Okay, there we see leading scorers. That's only North Suburban Conference. On top, John Manthe. Manthe from Anoka. He's had 3 games where he had a hat trick apiece.
Yeah, he has been very, very strong this year. I can't say that he's replaced Todd Harchie, but he's doing as well as anybody could.
And then, of course, Jason Fairman of the Roseville Raiders. He's had an excellent season. He's taken away from Jimmy Anderson some of the spotlight he expected.
Well, of course, everybody, there was some talk of Jimmy being one of the best players in conference, and he still is. Fairman is just a little bit of a surprise.
And then, of course, Pat Martin from Mounds View. Mickelson and Philbrook follow behind there, each with 17 points. And, of course, the goalies in this league, originally Gene Soleil was the starting goalie for these Roseville Raiders, but Derek Peterson was called on. He took over because of a suspension for disciplinary problems to Soleil, and Soleil has not gotten his chance back yet.
And if you look at that, Peterson is on top. That is just really something else. He's come on a very, very good goals against average.
So we'll be set for the opening face-off here when we return to the arena in Fridley. We'll be back right after this.
Humane Society Adoption Center.
Darling, I'll be perfect for a working couple.
Do they have kids? Oh, I love kids.
How about 2 watchdogs?
I'd like an older person. I'd even like the mailman. Please tell him I do newspapers.
Go to your local Humane Society. Sweetheart, don't be hesitating, 'cause a new friend is waiting for you.
Howdy do.
Welcome back to the arena here in Fridley. Christopher Glenn along with Carl Roseville here for this matchup. The goalies for this matchup, Carl, Derek Peterson for the Roseville Raiders. We were looking over his stats a bit earlier, but he definitely, when he got that start, He's had like a 1.75 average in 4 games.
He's just taken off. It's really been a big surprise. He's not had to face a lot of shots, but he has come in and played very, very well. Unbeaten.
"15 minutes up on the clock for the start of this period. Columbia Heights wearing their white jerseys with blue and yellow trim. And the Raiders, of course, in their standard black. All black is the first time we've gotten to see the Raiders in their all black jerseys this year, Carl.
Well, the white ones look good. The black ones don't look much.
Starting line, Jason Fairman with Paul Gurdon and Chick Pojar make that Scotty Marshall, it looks like. Defensive pairings, of course, Billy Stewart, Brett Peterson for Roseville, and Derek Peterson in goal. Off the face-off now, controlled by the Raiders. Peterson over to Stewart. Headman's now for Fairman. Fairman. And dumped in there by Pojar. Along the near side of the boards. Gets away. Gurton picks it up. Throws it back to the near side. A slap shot there by Peterson. And that one's a souvenir.
Of course, this line accounted for 7 goals against Irondale.
Face-off will come to the left of the Columbia Heights goal. Fairman to take the face-off for the Raiders. Controlled now and thrown in by Peterson off the ref, and Gurton picks it up. Leaves it off there for Mickelson. Wide to the right. Gurton tries to center it, but Columbia Heights picks it up, tries to start back out the other way on the near side. Mickelson throws it back to center ice on the far side there. Gorman, centering pass. He shoots. Score! Columbia Heights. 38 seconds into the game, Carl. 1-0.
It looks like Kevin Sarkinen that time. It was a very fast breakout, and he took the pass and was all alone.
38 seconds in the score there. Roseville will switch lines. They're going to bring in Jimmy Anderson and his crew to try to come back.
Scoring for Columbia Heights,
Off the face-off now, controlled by Columbia Heights at center ice. Dumped around, and it comes into the Roseville end. And a stoppage of play. Already less than a minute in, 1-0. The Raiders are on top. And the face-off will go all the way back down to the other end with the icing call. Face-off will come to the right of the Columbia Heights goal. Off the face-off now. Dump back to center ice. We saw Colvard centering that line with Anderson that time. Picked up and dumped to center ice by Mark Tunn. Nice move there by Jimmy Anderson. Anderson down the left side. He shoots, and a nice save there. Goes off into the far corner. Struggling for it, Columbia Heights tries to start out the other way. Picked off. Roseville on the far side now. Held in there by Tunn. And now Columbia Heights has trouble getting it out. On the far side, Jimmy Anderson leaves it off there. Too far for Tunn. And now Columbia Heights starts back out the other way. At center ice, dumped in there by Farilla. And now Peterson leaves it off behind the Roseville net. And Kelsa starts out on the far side, gives it to Anderson, taking off the puck, and it comes back to center ice. Tunn throws it up on the near board now. Sean Moriarty makes a check. Too far for Colvard at center ice. Controlled and thrown in now by Columbia Heights. Stop save there. Picked up by Tunn. Tunn headmanning there. Too far a bit there for Jimmy Anderson. Tunn picks it up and deflects off a defenseman at center ice. And hand pass is called, I believe, against Columbia Heights.
On the Heights goal, Kevin Sarkinen, a senior forward, gets the goal. Jeff Gorman and Greg Mickelson will pick up the assists.
Right out front, backhander. And a nice stop there by Jones. Off the face-off, Heights picks it up and starts back out the other way. Centering pass picked off by Roseville. They'll try to start it back in. Over the blue line, driving in, Scotty Marshall. Taking off the puck. Comes along the near, behind the net, centering pass. Gets too far there for Colvard. Or Collette, rather, as it comes to the near side. Too far for Grills. Columbia Heights starts the breakaway. Collada now down the left side. And Pat Robert is back to get it for the Raiders. Robert now, head manning on the far side. Tripped up there. And the shot, Peterson throws it out. Dan Rudy, of course, now playing on the far side. Jeff Kissel was put down to JV. And Marshall is sandwiched there as it comes back to center ice. Pat Robert now. Over now for Peterson. Trickles in, Columbia Heights in. Pojar back to get it. And now Girton pressures up along the far board. Centering pass, Peterson throws it back. And it comes right out to Girton. Girton throws it into the near corner. And over to get it now, Almond for Columbia Heights. He gives it right away. Centering pass, Fans on the shot. And the rebound, he scores!
It's Paul Girton with the goal.
Puck was stolen away, and he got a centering opportunity, put it right into the net. That's going to tie it up all at 1-1 apiece.
What happens, it just pops out. Fairman had it. And they are going to give assists to Fairman and Pojar.
Back off the face-off, controlled now by Columbia Heights on the far side. Janey now leaves it off at center ice. Girton picks it off again. He'll circle back. Peterson now. Rink-wide pass on the far side. Pojar tries to get it back to Girton. Taken away there by Mickelson. Down the right side, too far. Stewart. And picked up now by Fairman. Gets it over to Peterson. And now a head manning pass. Girton, too far. Fairman chases it down. And it gets back to center ice. Finally at center ice, tripped up Pojar. And it'll be taken away, back the other way. Hallner now. Goes back into the netting behind the goal. And now Girton's going to try to start it out. Too far, picked up. And Fairman loses it, but Girton picks it up. They got hit out of place there and back the other way. Columbia Heights on the far side. Dumps it in on net. Peterson clears it to the side. And too far there. Columbia Heights cannot hold it in. Back the other way. Keith Colvard gets it up now. Sean Moriarty. Too far for Collette as it comes back to center ice. And now back the other way. The captain, Dan Schlitt, now loses control and it's picked up now by Moriarty. Up to Jimmy Anderson on the far side. And finally stick handled on the far side by the Raiders. They lose control though. Sean Moriarty's hit up hard. And Heights holds it in. Thrown out on the far side. Ferlita loses control and Roseville comes back out the other way. Poke check there by Solon. And back to get it, Mike Kelsa. Kelsa now starts out the other way. Head manning pass there. Jimmy Anderson. Nice move. Anderson over the blue line. Driving down the right side. Taken off, and he's got to center it. Billy Collette. Collette will backhand it. Score! That was in.
On the line change, Collette comes off. Heights does not pick him up. He's coming straight off the bench. Anderson, a nice pass out to Collette in front, and Billy put it away.
And an extracurricular throw there at the end by the defenseman for Heights. Bill Collette is credited with the goal. And we've been waiting a long time for Collette to get some points on the board.
Well, Collette's been getting a lot of assists. That time he's on the end of a pass, and he just put that one away.
Back to live action control now at center ice by the Raiders. Taken away there by Rajala. And now Heights starts back out the other way. Off the stick there, Collada. In the corner, Pat Robert. Puck taken away beautifully by Heights. Looking for the centering pass. Can't find Pearson at the point. And now a head manning pass there for Dan Rudy. He gets hit hard, loses a stick. And Pearson throws it back to center ice. Over to get it now, Collada. Picked up now by Grills. Grills throws it along the near boards. Collette is over there. Collette looks for the centering pass, but Pearson picks it up. Pearson for Heights along the near boards. Collada cannot pick it up. And tied up along the near side.
Good thing for Roseville right there. Rudy lost his stick. Pojar had to come out without a glove.
8:34 up on the clock remaining here. First period action. There you see it, 2-1. Roseville is on top. Face off at center ice. Controlled now by Roseville. Pojar. Pojar driving in. He shoots. Ooh, and that's wide to the left. Up along the near boards. Heights tries to clear it. Girton holds it in. Girton picks it up. Beauty. Center ice. And it's cleared. No. Picked up now the other way. Columbia Heights. Nice move on the far side. Mickelson. Mickelson cranks up. And Peterson uses his legs to drop that one. Along the far side now. Heights. Peterson picks it up and throws it along the far boards. Pojar is over there. Centering pass taken away, and the shot goes wide to the left. Controlled now. Stewart leaves it off for Fairman. Fairman throws it in. And that one touched the bench of Columbia Heights, so it'll be a stoppage of play. Face-off will come just outside of the Heights zone. Off the face-off, Heights controls, throws it up on the far side. Picked up now by Colvard. Colvard starting it out for the Raiders. Squeezes through on the far side. He's got Jimmy Anderson. He'll take it himself. Goal! Wow!
Well, he just fired it in. Right by Mark Jones.
That's going to make it 3-1. Keith Colvard with the goal.
We'll have to see if there are any assists. Now, there you see, he just skated down the left side and fired it in.
And that was deflected off. The shot from the right point. Kelsa knocked down there by Colvard.
The puck is still
right out
loose in
front.
there.
He cannot stuff it. And it's cleared. No, held in there by Peterson. And finally comes back out to center ice. Schlitt throws it in on the far side. And the head manning pass now. Roseville starts back out. Jimmy Anderson. Anderson over the blue line. He's got Collette, no Colvard. Centers up though for Moriarty, who cannot pick it up. And back at center ice, Mark Tunn will chase it down. Tunner now for the Raiders. Gives it to Anderson. Flips off a shot on the near side. Collette is over for it. Collette looks for a centering pass, taken away. And now Anderson picks it up. Back out to Kelsa, who shoots.
Nice pass
just
by
over the net.
Anderson.
On the far side now. Controlled by Roseville, taken away, back the other way. At center ice, Grills picks it up. Along the far side. And a stoppage of play. Face-off will come to the right of the Columbia Heights goal. Anderson to take the face-off. Heights now starting back out the other way. On the far side, cranks up the shot. Comes to the near side. Take it off the puck. And finally, Grills headmans for Collette. Centering pass for Marshall. And Marshall now over the blue line with the move. Gives it away, though. And Heights having problems clearing it. Marshall picks it up. Puts it through the skates. Girton cannot get a hold of it. And now Pojar centers a pass. Nobody home. Heights now at center ice. Chopped up there by Sarkinen. And dumped in now by Rob Pearson. On the far side. Centering pass. Nobody home. Girton will go over to get it for the Raiders. Headmanning pass to Fairman. Fairman now at center ice. He's got Girton on the right side. Taken away. Poke check by Pearson into the corner. And now given right back to the Raiders. Girton with the shot. And that one's up in the crowd.
So Roseville continuing to put a lot of points on the board. Of course, last week in 2 games, I believe it was 18-3 they outscored their opponents.
Of course, last week we had the opportunity to see a game which was a blowout, 10-2 over Irondale. And of course, Roseville really doesn't have the opponents they would like to in order to get them ready, should we say, for a team like Hill Murray.
Well, if you look at the schedule right now, Roseville is out of the frying pan and in the fire, if there is one. And coming up, Elk River should be tough. Going into Coon Rapids, the long bus ride, they have to go play at Coon Rapids. And of course, they'll have to play at Anoka on February 5th.
And so Dan Sabell will go to the box. 2 minutes, the penalty for cross-checking. Roseville will be on the power play. The line of Colvard centering.
I think you can still call Jimmy the center, but just Colvard will take the face-offs.
Along the near side. Thrown on the far side. Now dumped in on the near side, controlled by Colvard. Now at center ice, Stewart loses control. And Heights almost picks it up. Sean Moriarty loses it. He's got to go back and regroup. Controlled now by Columbia Heights. They'll try to clear it on the far side and all the way down the ice. 1:13 remaining in that penalty. And now Roseville starts back out the other way. Anderson squeezes through, loses the puck though. Gives it off on the far side. Sean Moriarty cannot control. He recovers. He's looking for the centering pass. Gets it off there to Anderson, but Anderson is not in the position to click it home. Peterson now at the right point, over the left point there for Stewart, who tees it up. Hits the Roseville sign, and if there was a pep band there, it might wind up in the tuba. 3:30 remaining. Face-off coming to the right of the Columbia Heights zone. Fairman to take the face-off for the Raiders. His line, Pochar and Girton on the power play with 44 seconds remaining. Tunn tries to put it in the corner. Back out to Tunn. Tunn finds Kelso on the right side. Too far there for Fairman. Girton picks it up. Out to Fairman. Finds Tunn cross the zone. And cannot pop it home. Fairman will pick it up. Centering pass gets through. Tunn will tee it up. Try to find the hole. Cannot do it. Fairman now with 16 seconds. They pull their goalie. Roseville now has 6-4 advantage. There must be another delayed penalty here, Carl. Roseville's trying to get a shot off. Backhander through the crease. Oh, and Jimmy Anderson was there. Down in the corner now. Penalty expires for Columbia Heights, but they still need to touch the puck before the delayed penalty takes effect. Roseville, excellent control, centering pass, and touched there by Columbia Heights. As well as touching it, they have to regain possession before the whistle is blown, so they can't just tip it.
Well, that time, Anderson nearly had himself a goal. The puck squeezed through, and Jimmy was not expecting that one.
Face-off coming to the left of the Columbia Heights goal, and now another 2-minute penalty. Assessed against the Heights, tripping from behind the call. A bit aggressive on the penalty killing route And so right as one penalty expires, another assessed. They're going to have to come back and regroup. Stewart now trying to bring it back in for Roseville, throws it into the corner. Marshall to Collette. Collette looking out, right point. Peterson tees it up. Stop there, Marshall with the shot. Left point. Stewart drives in, right through the crease. Collette will pick it up now on the near side. Trying to find a pass. He'll take it to Peterson. Peterson now over to Stewart. Stewart looking back through. Marshall loses control. Collette. Collette looks for the backhand. It's in his skates and finally comes out of the crease to the far side. Dan Rudy without a stick is going to try to tie up the puck with 1:11 in the penalty. And finally tied up along the far boards.
So pretty good penalty killing so far, but Roseville has kept it down there. Columbia Heights not able to break out of their own zone.
1:08 now up on the penalty remaining there. 3-1 your score. 1:40 remaining here in the first period. Face off to come to the right of the Columbia Heights goal. Once again, Kovar to take it. Kovar picks it up. He's going to look for the stuff. He's going to have to come back out to the point. And he chooses centering for Jimmy, too far. And now Moriarty's looking for it. Picked up right out front, looking for the backhand. And jumped on there. And then a late hit causes a roar from the crowd.
Somebody got decked in there.
Face-off will now have to come out of the Columbia Heights zone. 50 seconds remaining on the penalty with 1:19 now as the clock reads. Once again, we have a malfunctioning clock in our arena. Peterson to Stewart. Fans of the shot. Back to Peterson. Peterson looks for the centering pass. Held in beautifully by Peterson. Throws it now to Moriarty on the far side.
1 minute remaining.
You heard the 1 minute remaining now. Controlled. Moriarty looking out. He'll give it off to Jimmy Anderson. Jimmy will be very precautious on his drive towards the net. He'll look for it, take it himself, almost bounces through the legs, but a stoppage with 14 remaining in the penalty and 46 overall. Face-off will come to the left of the Heights goal. Anderson takes the face-off. Kovar with the setup. Stewart comes back with it. Goal! Beauty!
Stewart loves to just wind up and take that slap shot. We saw him get a hat trick before on all 3 slap shots.
Billy Stewart with the goal. Nice setup there. That's all they were planning to do off that face-off. You saw that Kovar was set up for the initial one. Luckily, the hop came right out into the goal. That's a nice replay of some bars.
There we see. Tail end a little.
Center ice now. Marshall down the far side. Controlled now by Heights. Hit up high against the far boards. Heights with 23 seconds trying to clear it. Roseville tries to put one more on. They'll keep the pressure up. Collette now. Over to Kelsa. 9 seconds. Centering pass. Marshall. And a stoppage of play with 4 seconds remaining. Now Roseville's going to try to set that same face-off up again.
Well, we've seen Chick Pojar score, and Collette nearly got a shot off earlier in the game.
Off the face-off, and it will be cleared, and the horn will sound. We're all out of time. The score after 1 period complete here from Columbia Arena. The Roseville Raiders 4 and the Columbia Heights Highlanders 1. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to the arena here in Columbia Heights. Christopher Glenn along with Carl Rosewold here. The Roseville Raiders are on top, as you see, 4-1. A fast-paced game. Highlanders started off with their own goal only about 38 seconds into the game, but Roseville came back with four straight goals, rather.
The first goal going to Sarkin of Columbia Heights. Right after that, just a couple minutes later, Girton picked up a goal that really evened it up.
There we see the Metro top 10. On top there, Kennedy, and of course without Greenway in the Metro area, that puts Kennedy on top. They're followed by Hill Murray at 8-1, Burnsville are at 8-1, Roseville at 8-1, and they're at number 5, Minnetonka at 7-2. And then I believe at number 6 is Stillwater rather. Jefferson's at 7, Stillwater at 9-1. Jefferson, a 7-3 team in the ratings, but of course, even though they won Roseville, which is good for them, they lost to a lot of big teams.
Yeah, of course, being from the Lake Red, and Jefferson, Bloomington Jefferson is a hockey power. They play all kinds of very fine teams all around the state.
Or rather, Jefferson beat Roseville, but they also lost a good team, so who knows. But the pollsters, now in hockey at least, they don't follow the straight records, and that's good to see, because in a lot of polls, they just look at the records and say, here's our poll.
Yeah, you can't do that because conferences vary throughout the state of Minnesota.
There you go, Carl. This is, I put all this into the computer for you.
Guys, what do we say about that?
He's polling his statisticians
number one,
right
it was
now. an
Islander, right? Number one, it was...
Who holds the NHL
Chris,
game
hints.
for most?
What decade?
Well, it's a decade. Here's the other one. 1980, which was the last U.S. team.
We know that
to
one.
win a
That's
gold medal.
1960. We know that one.
You do?
Yes, that's 1960.
Okay, well, let's take a look at the other one. What was unusual about 1984 Olympic?
Oh, this is terrible.
He knows this one.
This is terrible.
We will get a look at the answers in our second intermission, but right now we'll just take a look at the questions and give you some time to think. And there's the four-pointer. February 1983, the
I know
Rangers
that one too.
at the Stars. What record was set?
I know it. Yes, I know that one.
Okay, Carl claims to know them all. I have a fifth question, which isn't on the graphic that I'm going to ask you, Carl. See if you can answer it right here and now. Who was the last player to be cut from the 1960 Olympic team?
Herb Brooks.
Well, I give you credit, Carl.
Who was it?
You're right. Herb Brooks.
Hey, all right.
The last one cut
Okay.
from the 1960. Okay, that's our look at some stats and that. We'll be back for the second period of hockey action here, which is really what counts, with the 4-1 score in favor of the Roseville Raiders. We will return right after this.
I sat in my apartment and turned on the gas. I was crazy from cocaine. I couldn't live without it. That wasn't me. It was somebody else. When I saw cocaine was more important than me, I woke up. Now I'm slapping myself with reality to stay strong. I'll be struggling for the rest of my life. Anyone tells you cocaine's not addictive, they lie.
Call 1-800-662-HELP.
Welcome back to the arena here. Christopher Glenn along with Carl Rosewold. Now, what do you want, Carl? You want to go over? We didn't finish those stats, did we?
No, okay. Girton picked up his goal at 3:19 from Fairman and Pojar. Colletnan got one from Anderson, Colvard from Moriarty, and Stewart from Colvard and Anderson.
So underway here in the second period. Roseville in their black. They're going to defend the goal to your right at home there. And Columbia Heights will be defending the goal to your left at home. They, of course, in their white jerseys. That's a goal! That's a goal! Heights comes back closer, 4-2.
Well, just 20 seconds. First period was 38 seconds into the period, and this one, just 20 seconds into the period, Heights picks up their second goal. It just came out, popped in front. Gorman, they'll give the goal to.
On the far side now, stoppage of play.
Looks like it'll go Gorman from Sarkinen and Mickelson.
Shot deflected off to the right side. Heights putting some pressure on. Shot deflected, and Roseville will start back out the other way. The shot deflects off on the far side. Anderson looking for the centering pass. Heights clears it all the way down the ice. This should be icing. And so we'll skate all the way down to the other end of the ice. Face-off should come to the left of the Heights goal.
At halftime, I was talking to some of the Columbia Heights fans. They think Roseville is very fast. That's the one thing they thought was Roseville's biggest point.
Controlled now by Columbia Heights on the near side. They've got it. Shuttling it up the far side. Kelsa, a nice hit there on Dan Schlitt, the captain. And Schlitt goes after it. Picked up now by Stevenson. Stevenson for the Highlanders. Out to the point. Pearson loses it. Taken away by Anderson. Nice tip puck there by Peterson. He saved a goal, or at least a near perfect goal, or a assured goal with Jimmy Anderson driving. And now it goes all the way down the ice. Roseville will take it for the icing call and skate all the way down the ice.
Jimmy has to smile about that one a little bit.
There you see Derek Peterson, 1.75 goals against, and he's over that so far today, only in a little bit underway in the second period. So controlled now by the Highlanders. Taken off the puck by Collette on the near side. The Raiders hold it in, gets out, gets away from him. No, it doesn't. And yes, now they say it does.
Oh, that's a little iffy. It just depends on which ref was looking, right?
And so the faceoff will come just outside of the Columbia Heights goal zone with 13:10, it looks like. Remaining here in the second period. Controlled by Heights. Breaking through the middle. Taken away. Collette. On the far side now, Collette throws it back now. Looks like to Grills. Or make that to Pat Robert, who picks it up now. Head manning past Marshall. Now gets it to Rudy. Back to Marshall offside. Face-off will come just outside of the Columbia Heights end. (4-2). Raiders are on top. Controlled now, Pojar. And Stewart with the slap shot wide to the right. Girton picks up the rebound. Girton looks for the centering pass, taken away. Dean Haller throws it to center ice. Sarkinen, and a big hit.
Girton really wrapping him against the boards that time.
Pojar behind him, right out front. Stewart can't find it, and finally taken down the other way. Check Pojar. Centering pass, Fairman, back to Pojar, back to Fairman. Fairman finds Girton too far. Was that a series or what?
Nice passing for Roseville.
Controlled now on the far side. Pojar centers. Fairman with a shot wide to the right. Goal! Girton! That's his second.
The second goal of the night for Girton. He had two last Saturday night against Irondale.
And I have a message for the St. Paul Pioneer Press. His name is Girton, not Curtin as on Saturday Night Live. I have seen it 5 or 6 times
spelled C-U-R. That's G-E-R-T-E-N.
There we see the replay.
Bring it right in front. Just missing wide Fairman, and Girton just picking up the rebound.
See, there's how it's spelled. Girton.
There.
I think our graphics man knows what's going on. Controlled now by Sarkinen. Or make that Dan Schlitt. On the far side. Centering pass. Peterson jumps on it. And they pile into the net.
The temper's a little.
And after they unpile, I believe, faceoff should come to the right side of Derek Peterson in the Roseville net. There we see it, 5-2. The Roseville Raiders are on top here.
Scotty Marshall on the line.
Control now by the Raiders right out front. They lose control as Columbia Heights picks it up. The centering pass. Rudy now. Dan Rudy, headmanning pass too far for Marshall. Knocked back in there by Ullman. Paul Ullman. On the far side, Roseville controls. Dave Grills tees it up. And that one is deflected off to the far side. On the far side, Grills picks it up. Dave Grills now. Backhander by Rudy. Almost taken off the puck. And Columbia Heights starts along the near boards now. Brian Stevenson moving in. Stevenson taking off the puck. And I believe a penalty, and almost Collette got a stick in the neck.
Well,
there is a penalty on the play for somebody.
Somebody really got Collette and took him down after a penalty.
But I think that might be against Roseville, and then somebody took it on Collette.
Yeah, it looks like Scotty Marshall will be going on. I think it's probably dragged him down from behind.
So the faceoff will come to the left of Derek Peterson. 10:30 remaining. Backhander right through the crease. And now Anderson starts off, and I don't know what the call is here. Player down. He's not down for long. He's on his feet.
They're gonna
stop the play. Now that's the Roseville trainer, Marshall.
They're gonna send Peterson now. So
10:16 remaining here. Now 2 men in the box for the Roseville Raiders. There's Brett Peterson just assigned to the box. The senior defenseman and, of course, a captain, co-captain, along with Jimmy Anderson. Faceoff will come at center ice. The second penalty will lag 15 seconds, or 14 seconds rather, behind the first. Controlled now by Columbia Heights. This is an opportunity for them to get some points back here. Controlled by the Highlanders over the blue line. Right out front. Jeff Gorman fans on the shot. Out front once more. Nobody can find it. Picked off now by Stewart, it looks like. And Stewart, headman for Anderson. Anderson driving in. Beautiful move. Backhand. Oh, and he's taken off. He takes his rebound. And now finally taken away by Columbia Heights. Out front now, Gorman looking over for Ullman. Teed up and deflected out now by Peterson. Over on the other side, Ullman tees it up. Blocked by Mark Tunn, sacrificed his body and back the other way. Anderson shoots it up. Goal! Beauty! Beauty!
Short-handed, 2 men down, and Jimmy picks up a goal. He had
Jimmy Anderson, wow!
Had a breakaway before, and Jones stopped him. Not this time. Jimmy just pumped it up.
There we see it.
He did not take that down. This time he just let loose from out near the circle.
(6-2) now, the score in favor of the Roseville Raiders.
Still 2 men down.
A double shorthander for Jimmy Anderson. Controlled now by Heights. Berletta loses control. Girton now on the far side. Girton is breaking in. Nice move, Girton! Girton drives in. Backhander. Yeah! Beauty! 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 Wow!
Another one!
Double short-handed! Beauty!
Number
Beauty!
20!
Wow!
This is just something else. Girton and Anderson picking up. That's a hat trick for Girton, not Curtin.
Here we see the instant replay, Carl.
He just broke it in. Now, first Jimmy took it down. He was stopped. So Jimmy pulled up short and shot. This time Girton takes it down and gets it.
Puck control now by the Raiders. And now Columbia Heights takes it. Teed up from the right side. Roseville now has one man in. 10 seconds until they get their other man in. Gets by the Heights, and now Chicky Pojar. Pojar driving in. He could do it. Yes, 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 yes. Wow! What a goal! That should be shorthanded. That should be shorthanded. This is a field day for the Raiders.
I think that'll be counted as another shorthanded goal. This could be 3.
Chick Pojar with the goal. Beauty.
Unreal. Here he goes, right there. Just a little sloppy by Heights, and then Pojar took it in.
Eight to 2. The score in favor of the Roseville Raiders. The field day at the expense of the Highlanders so far. Roseville controls. Rudy centers up for Marshall. Marshall now starts out. Attempting to tie it up now. Roseville controls. Stewart. Right out front. Nobody can click it home. They're looking back for the point. They find it opposite side. Peterson loses control.
And Jones had lost his stick. He had to cover that up.
And so with 7:40 remaining in the second period, 8-2 lead by Roseville. Big margin.
And who would have thought that Roseville could break it open being 2 men short?
It was a close game before that power play for Columbia Heights.
Oh.
You think the negative to positive ratio holds true on a power play? I don't know of a team who has a negative number in their power play column, but it looks like if Heights is going to keep this up, they might.
They might for the day, huh?
At least for today, that's for sure. Controlled. Stewart now on the near side. Nice move. Stewart, centering pass. Anderson too far. Anderson with the move before he gets to the puck. He's going to try to set it up. Stewart with the shot. Deflection. Stewart comes back to him over to the far side. Injury.
Looks like Dean Holler. Think he caught? I think just stopping the puck with the knee.
And I believe that is Dean Holler, defenseman. He's a junior.
He is in real pain right now.
And the trainers are tending to him at the time. The referee will pick up his belongings. They're going to have to carry him off the ice or at least give him time. That, of course,
Looking at the knee, I wonder if it could have gone right through his padding and just hit the kneecap wrong.
well, they're holding his head now, but that's just because he doesn't have a helmet to rest upon. The pain is definitely within his leg, and as so many hockey players do, you know, that's their support. Now he's trying to get up. He's sitting up now. We might have a chance to go over some of those quick goals now that we have the opportunity. The 3 power play, or no, we can't call them power play, short-handed goals, the double short-handed goals started off when Girton took it off. That was for his hat trick, I believe. Or no, Girton had scored the one before Anderson's, and then Girton was to score another one. So Anderson on the first one from Tunn. And I believe another assist on that play as well from Jason Fairman. That, of course, a double shorthander. Girton with a double shorthander. And then Pojar with, I believe they'll credit a single shorthander.
Single shorthander, yeah. We can mark that one down.
I give
In our
credit
stats,
for that
we'll
one.
call it a shorthander.
And so the face-off now will come just outside of the Columbia Heights zone. There you see Gordy Gens leading his crew. And of course behind them you saw Columbia Heights and their injured crew, I guess. And off the face-off, Girton's line is on there. Ehrenberg and Grills out there as well, taken along the near side. Penalty now against, I believe, the Raiders, but I cannot be positive on the call.
The trainer still tending to Dean Haller's knee. It's his right knee.
Well, no penalty called on the play, just an offside, I believe. A possible penalty, though, as Dan Solon could have got it.
Ehrenberg in the game now.
Grills is taken off the puck, he recovers. 7 minutes remaining. Second period action. Halfway through and Roseville up 8-2. They've scored 4 goals. Centering pass, Girton through the crease. And now Ehrenberg comes back to get it. Billy Stewart picks it up. Stewart is hit hard. And a stoppage of play.
And Stewart now is down.
Bill Stewart now. Bill Stewart up along the near boards. And that should be Billy Stewart, and I believe Gordy Gens also went out on the ice. And you know, when Gordy goes out, he's concerned about one of his leaders. And of course, Stewart is a starter.
As a freshman, he and Peterson make a pretty good pair back on D.
And he is determined not to show any strain or pain on that knee. If he was a Rod Smith, he would just stay on. Now, I figured out Rod Smith was never really injured during the football season. It's just that he's required to sit out that play.
Yeah.
And so he's going to take his injury. He's going to rest for an hour on the field until he's revived enough to come back on the next play, I think. Controlled now. Mark Tunn, headman's now for Moriarty. Sean Moriarty over the red line, over the blue line, and taken away offside. 6:26 up on the clock, time remaining here in the second period. Face-off coming just outside the Columbia Heights zone. Off the stick, Heights controls, center ice, taken away. Moriarty loses control, picked up now by Stevenson, and now back the other way. Rob Pearson. Pearson dumps it in for Heights. And now Mark Tunn back to get it. Tunn, headman's on the far boards. Colvard can't control. Heights with the shot. Deflected out, Jeff Erickson. Tried to stop in the crease and deflected it out wide. Erickson now controls for the Raiders. Taken off the puck, and it gets by Colvard, and Anderson picks it up. Anderson now goes into the corner. He's going to circle his net and try to start out the other way. Right out front, what a mistake! And a nice stop there, Roseville. Big mistake there for Jimmy Anderson. And of all the experienced players, he knew he was kind of the wrong move on that one. Along the near side, Moriarty starting out the other way. On the far side. Controlled now by Heights. They'll try to start it out. And now Roseville Mike Kelsa. Kelsa tees it up. And he takes his own rebound. Centering pass, score! Beauty!
That's 2 for Anderson. He also has picked up a couple of assists. Well, that's Colvard in the picture. He probably got an assist on that
Oh,
one.
Keith is proud to take credit. Keith gets an assist on that one. He set up the play, took his own rebound, but no, he's not Jim Anderson. He doesn't get credit for the goal. There we see it. And back to live action now. Fairman's line is on. Pojar takes it, looks for the centering pass to Fairman. Girton over to get it. 2 big productive lines tonight for Roseville. Through the crease. That one's wide to the left. On the near side, big hit. Pat Robert picks it up. Gets it over now on the far side. Billy Stewart head manning for Girton. Girton, nice move. And taken off the puck there by Gorman. Picked up now by
2-on-1.
Mickelson driving in. One of the top scorers. Through the crease. Along the near boards, Pat Robert. Robert now throws it on the far side. Girton, nice tip out. Not intended, but a nice move. Taken off the puck. Centering pass. Mickelson taken off by Robert. And Robert is not called on the play.
No penalty, Robert. It's a clean hit that time.
Mickelson had a dead heat to the goal, and our technical people asked, is this football? It's an aggressive game out there tonight, I think we'll agree from both sides, Carl.
Yeah, well,
Gotta hit him.
Girton nearly was tripped right out here.
And now a stoppage of play called with 3:58 remaining here in the second period. Face-off should come to the right of Derek Peterson. And Scotty Marshall's line is on tonight. Or at this point tonight. He obviously hasn't been on the whole night because the other lines are the productive ones. Of course, Scotty and his line doing an excellent job as well, though. Teaming up for a few. Tipped in by Stewart. And now Marshall picks it up through his legs and finally back the other way. Jason Townsley. Townsley for the Highlanders. Throws the puck into the corner. He'll chase it down. Hit hard there by Stewart. Loses control and Scotty Marshall will pick it up. Tripped up and he headmans it there for Rudy. Rudy now tries to get it back to Marshall. Trickles behind the net where Peterson picks it up. Headmanning pass now. At center ice. Rudy. Rudy has Marshall over the blue line. Drops it off. Looks for the pass to Brett Peterson breaking in on the far side. And now a centering pass there. Marshall with the shot. That's wide to the left, deflected out. And now Columbia Heights will start back out the other way. This is Jason Townsley. Headmanning there for Collada. And now Roseville will clear it out. Peterson on the far side. Loses control. Schlitt will pick it up now. And now headmanning up for Rudy. That was Marshall. Tripped up. Moriarty on the ice now. And now a good break. Shot up there by Marshall. He wants to change lines. Coming back the other way. Stevenson throws it in for the Highlanders. Controlled by Erickson. Headmanning now for Anderson. Anderson over the blue line. He's got Moriarty. And the goalie tips it out. Mark Jones comes back. Colvard taking off the puck. And now Ferlitta is trying to tie it up. He cannot do it. Moriarty is on the floor. The puck is still loose. And it finally comes out along the near boards, and it gets by Mark Tunn. Tunner's going to have to skate down and pick it up. 1:56 with a stoppage of play on the icing call.
I'm not sure. Did Tunn get a new paint job on his helmet? It's all black
Yeah,
again.
He's got it all black. He had some white chips in it before. Face-off coming to the right of the Highlander goal. 9-2. Roseville is on top. The Highlanders control. Dancy Bell taken by Tunn. Tunn now, headmanning pass. And now right out front, Colvard poked away, and Tun sets it up. Tun just over the top of the net. And it gets by Erickson. Polar now, or make that Sarkinit. Picked up now by Erickson, 128. Anderson now. Anderson with Colvard. He tries to headman it, and he picks it up himself, looking for the centering pass, taken away, and back the other way. Roseville players collide in their own end with only 1:14 remaining. Controlled now by Mickelson. Gets it off for Gorman, and Gorman along the near boards, back out to Pearson. Pearson throws it out now to Sarkinit. On the far side, Gorman. And Heights now trying to start their attack, but Roseville starts back out the other way. Jimmy Anderson. Anderson with a nice move. The shot, a blooper as some players converge on it, and poked away! Whoa, was that wide? Opportunity, and I believe it was possibly stopped.
It came in real close there. Mark Jones, rather, getting up, and I think the puck popped out from underneath him. Had to fall back on it, prevent it from going past the crease. And Chris, I think we're going to see a very fast third period.
That's guaranteed with 45 seconds remaining here in the second period action. The shot clock reads 30 for Roseville and 10 for the home Highlanders. And so Peterson only allowing 2 goals off of 10 shots.
Not the greatest save percentage in the world, but what counts is your goals against.
How many did the Highlanders have in that first period shot-wise?
Just 3 in the first period.
On the far side, controlled by Roseville. This is Anthony Ehrenberg. Puts it through, and it goes on the far side. 16 seconds, controlled by Ehrenberg. Ehrenberg backhands it, nobody home. Comes back out, Ehrenberg with the backhand, and a stoppage of play. Jones jumps on the puck. 8 seconds.
A 7-goal margin in the third period. When you have 6 goals or more, the clock runs continuously.
We saw that in the Irondale game, and we'll see that here again today. And that makes the third period go extremely fast. Controlled now by the Raiders. Comes back out to center ice. Grills as the clock expires. 9-2. There you see it after the end of the second period. We'll be back to Columbia Arena here for our second intermission right after this.
Yes, I was crazy from cocaine. I couldn't live without it. That wasn't me. It was somebody else. When I saw cocaine was more important than me, I woke up. Now I'm slapping myself with reality to stay strong. I'll be struggling for the rest of my life. Anyone tells you cocaine's not addictive, they lie.
Call 1-800-662-HELP.
Arena here in Columbia Heights, or rather Columbia Arena in Fridley. And we did not get a chance to take a look at the goalies during our pregame show. And there we see him, Peterson, as we were talking about, in 4 games, 7 goals for a 1.75 average. And of course, in this game, after facing only 10 shots, he's already given up his 2 goals. And so, not a good ratio shot-wise, but he has the starting position, and he's going to try to keep it.
And Derek has done a very fine job. Of course, a lot of people thought the goaltending would be a big problem for Roseville, having just 2 juniors to go with, not a senior goaltender. But it's turned out just fine. Gene did a good job while he was in there, and Derek's unbeaten since he was a starting goalie.
And behind him, Rubin, Goodmanson, Flint, and Fritzinger. The rest of the goaltenders around the North Suburban Conference. Now, as we promised, we'll take a look at all those trivia questions that we had. And of course, the first one that we were talking about, now I asked you that question earlier and you said you knew the answers. You claimed to know all the answers to all.
I had an idea.
Okay, you have an idea. Carl is consulting his camera crew and his statistician at the moment.
Some Islander, right?
Who holds the NHL record for the most games played? It was Gordie Howe.
Sorry. Well, we were saying it was an Islander, but because the Islanders were in all those playoff games for so long.
But of course, Gordie was such an old man. There's your second one, the 1960 Olympians.
No problem.
And of course, that was before 1980, the last one. And of course, Herb Brooks, the last one who was cut from that. What was unusual about 1984? Olympic coach Lou Viro's background. You knew this one.
Why do you think we lost?
And there you go, the fastest 3 goals. We broke that tonight, so we might as well disregard that graphic. The fastest shorthanded goals, the fastest 3 shorthanded goals
in a row.
That's a record right here.
It must be a record.
Of course, to recap the scoring in the second period of action, it all started off, it was 4-1 coming into the second period, and then it went to 4-2 and on from there.
The Highlanders, for the second period in a row, getting off to a fast start at 20 seconds. Gorman from Mickelson and Sarkinen. Roseville answered. Girton's second goal of the night from Fairman and Pojar. Followed up that were the 3 shorthanded goals. Anderson, a double shorthanded from Tunn and Fairman, and Girton, a double shorthander at 6:04. Coming back, Pojar picked up his shorthander, and at 9:53, Anderson from Kelsa. The penalties, 2 for Roseville. Marshall for hooking and Peterson for high sticking.
And there is our score after 2 periods complete, 9-2. A reminder, unless Columbia Heights scores, the clock will run continuously for 15 minutes in the 3rd period. We'll be back for that action right after this.
The image behind drinking, the people that drank, that they look in the woods. If I didn't sleep in the woods, I slept on the corner. If I didn't sleep on the corner, I slept at someone's house who I didn't even know.
Hey, yo, alcohol is a drug, and you can get hooked on it. And the younger you start, the more damage you can do.
If you want to be somebody, have a family, have a future, just say no.
Say no and say yes to your life.
Heights, I don't think that's a natural gas commercial. What is that? I see. Our cameramen are pointing at they're trying to fool us here. I thought we were in a commercial or something. Well, Carl, this might be commercialized hockey. If we get going, we're going to sell some tickets to these Roseville Raider games.
Well, I don't know. This is really something else. 9-2, the game before 10-2, and then 8-1.
And here comes Columbia Heights back onto the ice. Of course, we were talking about the record the North Stars had. That has got to be a high school record.
That's unreal. You can score 3 shorthanded goals in 2 minutes.
And they better have credited that one as shorthanded, or I'm going to be upset. We have it on instant replay, folks, if you want to see it. And that's one thing we're going to show these officials if they don't say that Pojar's goal was shorthanded.
It was.
We'll put 15 minutes on the clock, and that's going to run continuously for the Raiders. And so they're not going to increase this margin too much. Of course, they won that Irondale game by a score of 10-2, and right now they're on top 9-2.
They have a chance to better that, pick up a couple more goals here. Columbia Heights has got to be really dejected right now. Columbia Heights is a good, strong hockey school. They're not used to this.
Now I'm going to ask you for some commentary here, and of course this is just your opinion. But do you think Soleil could do a better job in nets now, or do you think Derek Peterson is holding up?
Well, Derek's doing just fine right now. I'm sure Mr. Gans has confidence in both of the goalies.
Well, after Gene lost his starting spot, there is absolutely no reason to take it away from Derek until he has a bad game, and then that'll make Gordie switch back possibly. But until that point, I'm sure Derek is assured of a starting spot.
And I'm sure somewhere along the road, this season, the goalies wear down.
And so after a long stint, by Derek. We might see Gene Soleil again for a while, and of course he can platoon back and forth for quite a while with goalies.
Yes, and those are two strong goalies. Several schools in the conference do switch off goalies regularly.
And of course, Kennedy's two goalies both have ERAs under, or rather, goals against average under ones. I want to hop ahead into the baseball season, but
they're probably, one of them has to have one loss, of course, because of the loss to Greenway, but.
So Fairman's line is out to take the face-off, and he controls. He gives it to Stewart. Stewart gets taken off the puck by Jeff Gorman. And now, this cannot be a penalty. Delay penalty against Roseville.
Call one against Stewart.
Short-handed goal coming up, folks. Stay in your seats. The clock rather, continues to run with 4:41. But of course, the penalties also continue to elapse even when the play is stopped, of course. And Bill Stewart off the face-off, spurts out front, left point. Mickelson tries to feed it in. Gets it to Pearson, the backhander. Cleared out by Roseville. Jimmy Anderson looking. He'll circle back. Tries to start it out, throws it all the way down the ice. They're, of course, shorthanded, and so the clock, or rather icing, will not be called. The clock is always running in this situation.
The penalty clock also has continuous running.
Controlled now by Columbia Heights. Trying to set up their shot. Centering pass tipped out by Brett Peterson. And it comes back. Columbia Heights will have to regroup. Controlled along the near boards by Peterson. And he throws it in. Columbia Heights regroups now. They start it back out the other way. Swatted back away by Peterson. He'll sit back down on the bench. He was going to sit down until he saw the puck coming towards him. He said, I'll give it another swat. He's going to take another 20-30 seconds off that penalty. Controlled now by Gorman. Gorman will slow it up, looking for the centering pass. He'll throw it down in the corner now. Heights controls. Back out to Gorman. Teed it up, and nice stop there by Jimmy Anderson. Centering pass, swatted out again. Jimmy Anderson will pick it up. He's going to try to clear it. He's going to drive right back in his own zone and try to delay some more of this penalty. And that shot's wide to the right, or rather expend some of the penalty. Get it off the clock as Moriarty centers up, driving in, the shot, yeah, beauty! Wow!
That's
short-handed city.
That's 4. The clock continues to run.
That must show you Jimmy Anderson, who scored on the play, number 16. He's got a lot of skating abilities, a lot of moves, and of course Jimmy wants to be on camera. There we see the replay, Carl.
Well, Jimmy just poked her through. Too short-handed for Anderson. I'm not sure. Let's check. Joe, is that Anderson's second goal or third goal?
Of course, Joseph Glenn, our statistician for tonight.
Hat trick for Anderson.
And that is a hat trick.
And
so
Gerton, too.
Gerton, too, with a hat trick.
Anderson.
So who else are we going to give a hat trick to? I think Fairman could tack another couple more on the play. Controlled now by Roseville.
This just gives an indication on how balanced the scoring is for the Raiders.
Starting out now, Billy Stewart. Taking off the puck, and he's hit hard. He's going to get right up. And now Rudy goes in and hits hard. Rudy seems to be making a big presence here tonight, so the Kissel move will bring Rudy up. Will look like to be a good one, at least at this point in the season. Of course, if Rudy slows down in his play, it's kind of like with the goalies. They'll switch him back and forth.
Now that's the thing they probably want to do. Kissel was banged up, and that hampered his play, and coach felt it best to bring Rudy up. Rudy was playing very well on junior varsity, and Kissel has been junior varsity's leader ever since the switch.
Controlled now by Mark Tunn. Tunn headman's there too far. And now back down the other way. I believe offside the call with 10:34 and ticking. Jason Fairman and his line back on.
Fairman, he has not had a lot of points put up, but he's always a real spark plug.
And of course, Fairman tonight has no goals, but he has his other nights. Tonight is Jimmy's nights. They seem to share the spotlight quite well.
Fairman being dumped there.
Of course, Jimmy being such an excellent player last year, these guys are keen on him, and they pinpoint who they want to hit hard tonight, and they say Jimmy Anderson.
And in Tier 2, was it not? Fairman and Anderson 1-2 in scoring, switching back and forth the entire year.
And of course, that league was a real house for winners. Of course, Centennial and Dick Jenkins and his crew played hockey. They skated their lives together. Of course, the Hill Murray line with Sean Fabian, Craig Quinlan. Controlled now by Columbia Heights. Starting out the other way now, Townsley tees it up wide to the left. And now starting back out the other way. Teed up, rebound taken on the far side. Girton. Girton must have a hat trick already, does he not?
Yep, that's 4.
Big number 4 for Paul Girton, number 20.
So he continues to roll up the points.
And so Girton with his 4th goal of the night. 8:37, the clock continues to ride. It's 11-2 in favor of the Roseville Raiders. Let's take a look at the instant replay on this one, Carl.
I'm not sure who that was. That was Girton taking the initial shot, shot it again, so he picked up his 3rd shot went in.
Controlled now by the Raiders, starting out the other way. Sean Moriarty loses control, taking off the puck. Heights starting back out the other way. Still 8 minutes remaining, 11-2 the score. On the far side, Heights at center ice, dumped in. And now Stewart throws it up along the near board. Centering pass. That shot goes wide to the right. Controlled now and thrown all the way down the ice. And a stoppage of play with icing called. The shot clock now reads 36 for the Roseville Raiders, and Heights is yet to get a shot off this period.
None on nets. They've had a lot slip wide. The only ones that count are the shots on net.
Face-off will come to the left of Derek Peterson. 7:21, the time on the clock remaining here in the game. Controlled now. Shot goes wide to the right. Centering pass, backhander wide to the left. Controlled now. Roseville starting out the other way. Girton centering pass there to Dave Grills. Grills with the breakaway. And I don't believe they called that offside. I don't believe that. Grills was way over the line. And it looks like he at least had to skate over the puck. I can't believe they would have called that one on Girton.
Well, somebody else must have been in there.
Well, it must have been the fact that Grills himself got ahead of that puck. It's the only way I can see it. Except I think he had control and was carrying that one with him, but that's on net. And so 11 on goal for the Columbia Heights Highlanders as it's controlled by Ziegler. And of course, Ziegler played Tier 2 hockey in Roseville as well. Grills on the near side, pushed down. And I don't think you'll see the Roseville players pumping it up too much. They're going to sit back and take their wing. And of course, I think Columbia Heights could be a bit excited that they played such a terrible game, if we should call it that. I think when I came in here, I thought Columbia Heights could keep up with Roseville. Of course, they haven't had the communication they needed to come out with a win.
Well, I personally think you have to give Roseville the credit for this one.
Maybe, Carl, it's just that Roseville is such an awesome team, and the opponents we see are not really as bad as I think they are. But I think if we tested Roseville again against Bloomington Jefferson, it'd be a tight matchup, 1 goal.
Yeah, it would be a lot tougher in the Bloomington Ice Gardens. Roseville, one thing you have to say, the crowds for Roseville have been great all year long. Roseville Arena, it's been packed. It's been packed.
It's too bad that Hill Murray, it's not like next year when he's there in the conference, we could play him every game. And I can tell you, whichever team comes out on top in that one would certainly go on to the state tournament with some hard-playing hockey experience, because I don't like to see Roseville playing these types of teams. It's not going to give them anywhere near the challenges if they played somebody like Kennedy every game. Of course, that's a bit too wishful, but it'd be good to have them in that kind of a situation where they could play some teams where they could improve, because right now they don't see their mistakes because they are too good against this type of a team.
Columbia Heights is not a bad team. Keep in mind, Columbia Heights beat Richfield. And Richfield, of course, was an entry in last year's state tournament.
A different team this year, though, Carl.
They're all juniors last year.
4:13, the clock is running. A big 9-point margin for these Roseville Raiders.
I think Anoka will have plenty to say in the Roseville-Anoka game.
That's for certain. February 5th up at Anoka.
That will be a shootout.
And of course, that's the last game before the second round of NSC play. Roseville tees it up. Skyrocket. And in the tuba.
Not quite, almost.
Oh, did it miss? It did miss. Face-off coming in neutral ice, 3:30 remaining. Columbia Heights could keep up with this team when they came into it, but I don't think they can skate with them, and that's the only problem. When you match up a team that has speed against one who doesn't have speed, the margin will be a lot bigger than you would have thought. And I thought we were seeing a 2-goal game.
I don't think you can say Heights does not have speed. They don't have speed that compares with Roseville.
Look at the shorthanded goals we have, Carl. You cannot attribute them to anything but phenomenal speed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Roseville's speed is phenomenal, but Heights' speed is not that bad. Somebody's mixing it up in the corner. It's not wise to mix it up with Pojar. Roseville does have some size in Peterson and Pojar and Girton and Stewart and more yardage than knockheads.
So where is the apex? Is a team like Roseville that high above a Columbia Heights? I think they're pretty well evenly matched, but today Columbia Heights just has not played their game.
Yeah, I agree. Columbia Heights, it really took it out of them with those shorthanded goals, just really put an end to it. There's no way Heights could come back and keep this one close.
Backhander. And now Heights will try to start it back out. Roseville picks it off. And a save made by the Heights goalie, Mark Jones.
I think any team that has 3 shorthanded goals and 4 during the course of a game scored against them.
I believe there's a penalty being called. Some kind of a cross-check against Kelsa. That is Mike Kelsa.
It looks like they're sending 2. They're sending 2.
Well, they're not. Well, yes, they are sending 2. And we will skate 4-on-4. Speed advantage takes big effect in a 4-on-4 situation.
Yes, it certainly does.
Ehrenberg now. Ehrenberg with the move. Leaves it off for Marshall. Marshall, too high. Dave Grills now holds it in. 1 minute left in the game. The shot wide to the right. Roseville could still score. 4:53 seconds. Time is running out. Ehrenberg trying to pressure Columbia Heights. Heights is trying to start out. At center ice, Roseville controls. Jeff Erickson. Headman's there for Marshall, too far. Goes into the Heights end. 36 seconds. Dave Grills throws it back, and Ehrenberg is changing. And now Anderson with 30 seconds out on the ice. Too far for him, and Jimmy's going to pour on some speed. He wants one more. Him and Girton are trying to fight for the credit of this game, and so far Girton came out on top. Anderson's trying to answer that one. 16 seconds, they're just going to skate it off. They're not even going to try to face this one off. They will not try to face this one off.
And looks there will be no face-off.
11-12, the final score in favor of the Roseville Raiders. They will not drop the puck, and time expires. The 2 penalties did not expire, but the clock did, and that's what counts. The final score, 11-2. Roseville, what's next for them? What do you see that they have to do? Because you know there's competition come state. Those teams from the north like Greenway and Grand Rapids, there's more of them like them. They don't get the publicity that they do.
Of course, coming up for Roseville, they have to complete the first round of the schedule. That includes a game at Coon Rapids, a game at Anoka, and then several other games. Elk Rivers and Forest Lake still have to be played yet. Roseville, they just want to get through this first round, come out in the top 6, and they will be in the top 6. Go into the second round, pick up some momentum, and head into region strong.
And of course, in their regions, they of course have all the teams from the north, like Cloquet, Duluth East, St. Cloud, Apollo, I believe, are all in their region.
Yeah, it's like driving up Highway 35. You get all those teams right in there.
And of course, the disadvantage for Roseville is that they haven't got a chance to see a lot of those teams play.
Of course, like Duluth, Denfeld last year, Anoka had to go to Duluth, and Denfeld wound up in state.
And I believe that means that this year the north teams have to come down to the cities.
Yeah, at the Coliseum, the finals will be. I'm not sure the semifinals could be scheduled for being at Duluth, which means you could have Roseville against Anoka in Duluth.
We'll have to wait and see on that one. The north teams are going to have something to say about that. Of course, scoring in the third period. Of course, scoring all through the game. It started off only 48 seconds in, and that was a Columbia Heights goal, or 38 seconds in, rather.
Yeah, it started with Sarkinen from Gorman and Mickelson very early.
But then Roseville came back. Girton scored, Collette scored, Colvard scored, Stewart scored, and then Gorman scored for Heights, and then Girton for Roseville, Anderson for Roseville, Girton for Roseville, Pojar for Roseville. Anderson scored 2 to wrap it up. And then I believe Girton again at the end there.
Good night. Fairman with 3 assists. Anderson going on with his hat trick, picked up a couple assists. Oh.
Shots on goal for the game total. 41 for the Roseville Raiders, only 13 for the Columbia Heights Highlanders. Once again, the final score, 11-2 in favor of the Roseville Raiders over the Columbia Heights Highlanders. I'd like to thank our men in the truck, Rich Kemp, Jason Brown, Wayne Powers, and of course the rest of our 623 Sports crew. The final score did not really reflect the pace of this game, but Roseville in another blowout, Carl.
Well, one thing that might sneak in is Roseville's stamina. Are they getting so many quick games?
Well, we'll follow them throughout the rest of the season, and we hope you stay tuned to 623 to watch for your favorite sports. Of course, a whole trio of basketball games coming up in the next few weeks. We hope you stay tuned and watch those. Until next time, we will see you out at the games. 623 Sports. Thanks for watching.